What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, I want to speak on this gambling situation, right? And how LeBron James may or may not fit into what's going on with this gambling situation. Now, I think it was last week, Stephen A. Smith came on to his show and he said something about this may have something to do with Donald Trump, going after these NBA players and stuff like that. So I was thinking, I was like, no, this can't be like what would Donald Trump have to do about, with gambling and basketball players and stuff like that. Now, to a certain extent, I still don't believe that Donald Trump is he's behind going after NBA players for gambling. I just don't believe it. But I do know, or I do think that if LeBron James is connected to this in any way, that LeBron James like making like an enemy of Donald Trump, I think is not going to work in his favor. Same as like with Puff Daddy, when Puff Daddy was saying some things about Donald Trump before he went to jail, before he went to prison, right? Then once he get convicted, some people reach out on Puff Daddy's behalf and ask for a pardon, which Donald Trump knew that was coming, and he was just waiting for it. And he politely declined. So now here we are with LeBron James, and the reason why I put two and two together, I was listening to the Patrick McDavid show, right, and he was talking about LeBron James and hold up. He was talking about LeBron James.
Hey,
I'm going to play it. The LeBron James, Stephen A. Smith situation, and he brought up some good points that I want to add my commentary to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play what Patrick McDavid had to say about how all this might tie in to LeBron James, Donald Trump, and Stephen A. Smith, right? And then I want to add my commentary to it.
You know what the biggest fear is right now, Tom? If all of a sudden, you know who their superstar of the last 2 decades is that they're hoping is nothing to do with this? LeBron James.
Oh, for sure.
And let me tell you, who is LeBron James's guy?
Damon Jones.
No. I'm
Matt
talking
Carter?
management.
Lawyer?
I'm
Matt
talking
Carter?
management.
Rich Paul?
Okay.
Rich Paul?
I'm talking management. So do you know the story of Matt Carter?
I do. I mean, I know Matt. Why? I mean, I maybe I don't know this story. What's the story?
Do you know his gambling story?
Oh, I'm familiar with a little bit of it, yes.
Okay. So Maverick Carter, who is who?
That's LeBron's guy
That's LeBron's guy, and he's the CEO of Spring Hill Company.
Mhm.
Clutch Sports.
And uninterrupted Clutch Sports, who is co-founded with who? LeBron James.
LeBron, yeah.
Rob, can you do me a favor? Ask ChatGPT, has Mav Carter had gambling issues in the past before? And look how he answers the questions. According to multiple news reports, Mav Carter did admit in November of 2021, this is not a long time ago, okay, that he placed about 20 bets on football and basketball games over the course of a year, ranging $5,000 to $10,000. Mm-hmm. He said he used the services of a bookie named Wayne Nix, who ran an illegal sports betting ring. Carter told investigators he could not recall placing bets on the Lakers, despite his close business association with team star player. Who is that? LeBron James. He was not charged with a crime. The statement from his side said he cooperated with investigators, was not a target, and has not been contacted again in this matter. Why? Well, the NBA can't afford to lose LeBron James, of course. While Carter admitted to the betting, the available public information does not show that he was found guilty of a crime. But what do you mean you do not recall?
All right, I want to stop it right here for a second. So Maverick Carter, he made out in that situation, right? And Patrick McDavid seems to think it was because of his close connection to LeBron James. And I believe that too. But what I will say is LeBron James is nearing the end of his career. And if that's the only leverage, that seems to be LeBron James's only leverage is the fact that he is currently in the NBA, and the NBA don't want to be connected to a gambling. LeBron James to be connected to a gambling scandal while he's still in the league. And so all this stuff, in my opinion, it just ties in. I think that LeBron James didn't take his opportunity in the NBA to build bridges and build relationships so that when he leaves the NBA, he'll still have some people in his corner. The only leverage LeBron James have now, the only leverage that Maverick Carter has, the only leverage that Rich Paul have, clutch management, is the fact that LeBron is in the league. And once LeBron leaves the league, then all this stuff could come back on him and backfire and bring him down. So I think that is a legitimate, that should be something that a legitimate concern for LeBron James and his camp.
Placing a bet on the Lakers or not.
Yeah.
You do not recall. So here's what happens. Okay. Here's what happens. Do you think President Trump has a memory where he remembers everybody who called him out?
1,000%.
And do you remember what LeBron called the president once?
Steph Curry, a bum. And he constantly went after him, constantly talked crap about the
called the president a bum. And do you think if there's any ties, text exchange, email exchange of Mav Carter asking, Bron, you're going to play tonight, you're not going to play tonight, you think if there's anybody, if you put 10 names of people that know on any given night if LeBron's playing or not, where would this guy rank on that list? He'd be in the top 5.
Maverick Carter?
Right? Yes.
He'd be numero uno.
Oh, then you know.
All right, so let me say about this. And now, I don't think that LeBron James even gambles. He might, but I don't think that he even gambles. But he still could be guilty by association. So like they said, if Maverick Carter knows that LeBron James is not playing and he uses that inside information, so, either to pass it on to somebody who can play on his behalf, or he might bet on his own and use that information about LeBron James not playing. That is going to really, that can really affect LeBron James. And so when LeBron James, had this little tiff with Stephen A. Smith, I think that Stephen A. Smith is privy to a lot of information. He knows that something is coming, down the pike, and they're setting Stephen A. Smith up in a position where as though he can say, I told you so. Stephen A. Smith is just basically setting the groundwork, I think, for what's getting ready to come down the pike at LeBron James. I hope that's not the case, but it's looking like that. You have so many people now speaking out against LeBron James as far as the GOAT conversation. It started there. Then Stephen A. Smith ramped it up with this animosity, this back and forth that he has with LeBron James. This for LeBron James, this situation right here could get really, really ugly.
So, number 2.
So if Mav Carter is number 1 and Rich Paul is 2, and you gamble, you know what this is like? Then Mav Carter is Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah.
So Mav Carter is Nancy Pelosi because nobody has more insider information than Mav Carter. Shaq, when he's being interviewed, when they're doing Inside the NBA, he told Barkley, we were told at the beginning of the season, whether you know if anybody is playing or not, if any of your friends and family members ask, always say they're playing. Never say they're not playing. We were briefed on this at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So if there is an ounce of anything on LeBron, do you think Cash and their FBI will go investigating LeBron? And imagine if they do. Think about all the black eyes athletes have had. Black eyes athletes have had. Let's go through them. Pete Rose.
Oh, yeah.
Greatest hitter of all time, 4,300 and something hits. Rob, can you pull up how many hits he had? 4,250, 4,003 something. Number one, nobody's had more hits. I think the number two, Ty Cobb, but 4,256. Okay, most hits. Guy played lights out. Did he ever make it into the Hall of Fame while he was alive? No. What was Michael Jordan's? Gambling. What happened there?
Oh, yeah.
Took a year and a half off and play baseball. Who else you got? A-Rod, Palmeiro, McGuire, Sosa. What was that? Steroids. Yep. What's that going to look like? Hall of Fame. FYI, if this goes that direction, none of those things will come as close to this as possible. And guess who will not go in the Hall of Fame? LeBron James.
Wow, you really?
Now that's. Let me think about that, because Pete Rose. Now, when the Pete Rose situation hit, I didn't really think it was a big deal. To Major League Baseball and people who follow baseball, they thought it was a big deal. But if LeBron James were to get caught up in this, wow, could this really keep LeBron James out of the Hall of Fame? That would be crazy. But like I said earlier, and I think that Mike Jordan probably, like, he was connected to gambling, but I think what saved Michael Jordan, and that's the difference between Michael Jordan and LeBron James, is Mike was a cash cow for Nike. Not just Nike and the NBA, but I think that if Mike had got caught up in a scandal, it would have, like, Nike wouldn't be where they are right now. If it, they had other athletes who came after Mike and got shoe endorsements and stuff like that, but they didn't have that allure and that that they didn't captivate people's attention the way that Mike did. So Nike, it wouldn't have been good business to get rid of Michael Jordan. And the way Mike played, Mike just did so much for the game. He made himself valuable. And so, but LeBron James, here you got LeBron James, he's playing during the player empowerment era. Then, ratings are down, ticket sales are down. LeBron James is kind of right now, he's got this feud with Stephen A. Smith. Then he's kind of temperamental as far as, like, people saying that this injury right now or is a fake injury. That's why he's not playing. So I don't know. It don't seem like LeBron James has done anything really to make himself a fan favorite. So this right here could be a really ugly situation, because, like I said, Stephen A. Smith is not on his side. Donald Trump, and I didn't even know he called Donald Trump a bum. And when you think about Michael Jordan in politics, like, Mike stayed out of it, and which I thought was wise on Mike's part, because when it comes to politics, either you are all in or you not. Because if you're, if Mike would have got caught up in a scandal and he had took sides with either the Republicans or the Democrats, then he just would have had more enemies. So Mike just stayed neutral, which I thought was wise. But sometimes when somebody, like, an athlete, when somebody shove a mic in your face and you feel empowered to say something, when maybe the wiser thing is just to stay neutral, right? But yeah, this is something that, that Patrick McDavid podcast, I just thought it was interesting, because I had no idea that that LeBron James has said some things about Donald Trump. And then once he mentioned that, and I was like, okay, so this seems like the same situation with Puff Daddy. Before Puff Daddy got locked up, he was going around saying things about Donald Trump, saying how evil he was. So yeah, man, this could be a crazy situation. But that's my take on it, man. Y'all make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.